afternoon, and welcome back to Extending for Success, 10 extensions to make the most of your Google Meets. Let's start things off with a few how-tos. Before we do that, I just want to introduce myself. So here's a bit about myself before we get started. My name is Carmela Berthia. I teach at both Social Justice High School and World Language High School. I am a choral director, modern band instructor, IDEA, Illinois Digital Education Association member, and a future NBCT, National Board Certified Teacher. I do what I do. I do what I do because I have always enjoyed technology and I love the customizable nature of the Google apps. It's always great to find something new that I can do in Google Slides or with Forms or with Docs or even with Google Meet like we're going to talk about today. What will we cover? We will cover several extensions, Google apps, and plugins to take your Google Meets experience to the next level by automatically recording attendance, raising hands, doing quick formative assessments, and a few other good things with just those extensions. Because of the amount of participants, I won't be demonstrating these extensions today. Also, though some of these extensions have paid features, they all have free features. And one paid extension mentioned today is even given a discount to Google Palooza participants just because you attended this session. So hooray for you. Okay, so I hope that you're ready to get started to try some of these extensions out on your own. Let's go, let's go. Okay, so what you'll need to know about Chrome extensions. You must have a Chrome web browser installed to use Google Chrome extensions. You cannot use Internet Explorer. It won't work if you have Internet Explorer. You have to use Google Chrome. And you can find that by going to chrome.google.com. Next, adding too many Chrome extensions can make your computer run slowly, so choose your add-ons and your extensions wisely. Not so much your add-ons for your apps, because those are kind of housed in the cloud, but your Chrome extensions because they are on your browser and they take up RAM while they're running. So it's like a lot of little programs that you're installing on your computer for it to function. So they will take up space. And I had about 30 on at one time, and my computer was running super, super slow. So I had to delete some. You can also disable them, which will kind of help it to run a little bit smoother. And you can do that by going to access your Chrome extensions and then hitting manage extensions and disabling them. All right, so here's how you manage your extensions. And this is a great website too, this HyperDoc site, awesome site. But the way that you're going to manage your extensions is you're going to go to click on the little gray blob up here at the top that's between your extensions and the account that you're logged into on your browser. Clicking that, and then I'm going to click at the bottom where it says manage extensions. Now, the ones that are gray are off. If I click them and they turn blue, they're on. But we want to disable. So we're going to find one that's blue. It's in the list over here too, the Google Meets attendees and breakout rooms. And then I can just toggle it, and now it is gray, and now it's off. And if I go over here, it's not in the list anymore. If I want it back on, I just turn it back on. I can turn as many on as I like. And you see the list gets super long, or I can turn as many off as I like. And watch the list just get shorter. All right, so that's how you do that. All right, so also, Unlike the add-ons, like I was saying with Docs and with all the other like slides, unlike those add-ons, your browser's account is what determines what extensions you'll be able to use. So if you look at the upper right-hand corner of the screen, there's one account that's circled at the very, very top. That is the one that's attached to my browser. And that is the one that if you see all those little pictures next to it, those are the Chrome extensions, and that controls those Chrome extensions. The picture that's further down is the one that's on my Chrome tab. I can log into whatever account on my Chrome tab, and it would not affect the extensions that I could use. I can only be logged into one account on a Chrome browser. Now, you can log into a second account, but it will function as a second Chrome browser. You won't be able to share tabs between those two browsers, but you can use them interchangeably. Not all Chrome extensions are what they appear. Vet the extension before adding it. Make sure that permissions that it asks for make sense for the type of application that you are using. So if you're using an application and you're using a Chrome browser extension that is supposed to do something like, oh, I don't know, let's just say it's supposed to help you to translate the web page, and then it's asking to use your camera, you know that that's not conducive with what it's asking you to do. And so I wouldn't install that web browser. That extension seems unsafe to me. Now, for extensions that you would deem as being safe, when we're talking about the ones that you do deem as being safe, here's what you need to do. Test out those extensions with a colleague before making a decision to use it in class. So if you're not sure if that extension that you know is safe is going to be the best for your students, then test it out with a colleague. If it works well for your students and it works well for you, then you can use it with your students later in class. Also, make sure that you try to streamline which extension you will use amongst colleagues in your grade band or department, especially if students must download them. Now let's talk about some of those recent updates that Google has been saying that they are going to come out with, that we've all been super excited about this summer. So Google has announced several timelines for several of the updates and modifications coming to Google Meet during their Anywhere School 2020 online event. However, most of these extensions won't take place until Q1 is almost over. And a lot of them will not be available unless you have the Enterprise Edition of G Suite. We do not currently have the Enterprise Edition. So we will get the hand raising. We will get the 7x7 tile view that allows you to see 49 students, and we will get the closed captions in various languages. However, unless we have the Enterprise Edition, we will not get the tracking attendance, we will not get the Q&A, we will not get the integrated breakout rooms, and we will not be able to poll students. Unfortunately, though these will be integrated for the enterprise users, standard education users have to utilize extensions in order to mimic these built-in features. Also, not only will enterprise users be lacking the new extensions and those new features, but you'll be losing old ones, such as the ability to record your meetings. But don't worry, I have you covered today. Okay, so here are a few steps about how to download your Chrome extensions. First, go to chrome.google.com. This is not only where you will download your Chrome browser like we talked about earlier, but the Chrome extensions as well. Visit the Chrome Web Store and search for the extension you want to install. Select the extension to open its detail page for more information. Select Add to Chrome. In the confirmation box, select Add Extension. Here's how you can pin and unpin Chrome extensions. First, you are going to find what it looks like. You're going to look for a gray puzzle piece or a splat in the upper right-hand corner of your Chrome web browser. You are going to right-click it, and then a menu will come down, much like the menu that's on the screen. As you can see, only one of the pins is blue, and only one picture in front of my gray splat at the top is on the camera. To pin an extension, simply click the gray pin across from it, and it'll turn blue. Also, at the bottom, you can see that there is, at the very bottom of the menu, a place where you can click to manage your extensions. That's where you can disable extensions and even see if you need to uninstall them. In the same spot that you would find your extensions, go to the extensions menu and you will click it if it's gray. So as you can see that there's one there that is blue. These are all gray. Just click the gray one, and now it becomes blue, and now it's pinned. Unclick it, now it's unpinned. There you go. All right, thanks for joining me. Next, we will be talking about the actual extensions that we're going to use, and we're going to start with the all-in-one extensions. Listen close for a virtual goodie bag as well. Let's continue. Good afternoon and welcome to Extending for Success, 10 extensions to make the most of your Google Meets. It was so good to see everyone chatting in the comments, and I really thank you for coming today, and I hope that I can be of service. Today, we're going to talk about some of the all-in-one extensions starting off. So here's a great all-in-one extension, Google Meet Plus. Google Meet Plus is great for assessment and engagement. The plus, no pun intended, is that there is so much housed in one extension. You can see students' reactions, you can play trivia games, you can mute your meeting, and you can label if you are present or away. There's a lot of paid features as well. The paid features are more like the fact that you can give badges and you can track attendance, you can display a quote, you can conduct an instant poll, which you can do for assessment, and more. So it works best, and it really, most of the features are only really accessible if both teachers and students download the free version. And then if you would like to, you can purchase the paid version for yourself as a teacher as well. So it's showing me that I'm presenting while I'm presenting, yay. But I wanted to just kind of show you also, this is Google Meet Plus up here. Okay. There are a few different features you have on here. It has a timer. This is the free version that I have up here. I can mute the meeting or I can unmute the meeting. That's the part that can be problematic because students, whether they are doing it on purpose or whether they're doing it accidentally, can absolutely mute the meeting and unmute the meeting on the free version. That's one of the reasons why I kind of like the fact that the enhancement suite allows that to be paid, but you also can't control what extensions your students download. So just be aware of that just like I can mute and unmute the whole meeting, then students can also mute and unmute the whole meeting. I can put down if I'm active or if I'm away on the screen, and that's helpful for students to be able to do, because if I'm calling on a student and they've walked away, then at least they can signal to me that they had to leave the room for a second, rather than putting it in the chat, hey, I had to go. They have the reactions, just like one of the other extensions that we're going to be talking about later on today. You're able to do trivia. The only thing that I'm not crazy about with the trivia, and we'll start one right now just to kind of demonstrate. So the only thing that is not great about the trivia is that my students may not know who Porky Pig is. So if they don't, you want to make sure that if you're using trivia questions, that you're purely using it as an icebreaker or a way to start the day, that has nothing to do with them having to access prior knowledge. Allow them to use the internet to search. Don't say, nope, 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 you better know who Petunia is, because they won't, of course. So, it's nice. The trivia feature is nice, but it's not customizable. You also have Messenger, where you can choose who you want to send messages to. You want to send it to everybody, or you want to send it privately. No, if you don't have the extension, then you can't see what I'm doing. That's why I'm sharing my whole screen right now. Can you all see my whole screen? Okay, awesome. Okay, great. So yeah, so if you don't have the extension, then you can't see what's happening. Which is why students do have to download it to use it, but then you just have to be aware of the fact that the mute is on there. That's the only thing that I was saying. That you have to be aware of the fact that that mute button is free and open for everyone. So that's the catch-22. Okay. Is there a similar Google Meet upgrade? Not really, because there's so much included in it. Do teachers download it? Yes. Do students download it? Yes, they have to. You can't see or interact unless everybody has the extension downloaded. Another really, really great extension is the Google Meet Enhancement Suite. It's a great extension for improving the functionality of Google Meet. So let me tell you, I thought I knew all there was to do with Google Meet until I came across the Google Meet Enhancement Suite. The Enhancement Suite truly expands your control over the functionality of Google Meets. This all-in-one extension has advanced capabilities that are not available unless you have this extension. A lot of the teacher features are paid, so you won't have to worry about students muting you during a meeting. You can automatically start a meet by clicking the extension. For free, you can push to talk, hold a hotkey. You can auto join a meeting. You can quickly leave a meeting. You can automatically turn on captions, automatically mute your microphone and turn off your camera when you're doing, and the control bar at the bottom of the screen, and hide participant names on their videos, which is good if you are going to take a screenshot. There's so many features that are out here, so many features. And the great thing about it is that the creators literally listen to you as a teacher. And if you ask them for an, an additional feature to be added to the extension, then they will go out of the way to do it. Now, the paid version allows for you to do a lot of other things, such as toggle the bottom bar at the bottom of your screen, have a meeting timer displayed, also add quick emojis. You can find the active meeting tab. You can remove all students. You can mirror your windows. You can mute all participants. You can view a participant's window, picture, video, picture in picture. You can make Google Meet dark mode, automatically pin the chat when joining Google Meet. You can make the bottom bar transparent. There's just so much that you can do with the Google Meet Enhancement Suite. And the reason why I prefer for those to be paid is because that way I don't have to worry about having to do a roundabout to get away from that. I can just have students use this along with Nod, and then I'm good. And it's always changing because the creators of the enhancement suite listen to the teachers that contact them who are using their product, and they update their product accordingly. There's just so much that they offer with their built-in features, and they build them around their clientele, like I was saying, which is truly, truly, truly a blessing. There's not a similar Google Meet upgrade, of course, the same with Google Plus, because there's just so much included in it. Do teachers download it? Absolutely. Do students download it? They can. They really don't have to, though. All right, here's our virtual goodie bag. So Corey Pollock, the creator of the Google Meet Enhancement Suite, made a new discount code exclusively for the Google Palooza for 25% off of any Meet Pro plans forever. Just for you guys, forever. So the discount code is Google Palooza 2020. You can input that before you check out, and it will take off a chunk of your price, or you can click the following link to automatically apply the discount. So if you look at the presentation, if you open the presentation up and you click on that link, or if you want to take out the time to look at it on this video and you want to type it into your browser, that will automatically display and apply the discount code. And you have that, please share it. Please share it and please use it. And it also applies to multiple memberships. So if you're going to do 10 users, you can put the discount code on top of that. If you're going to do more than 10 users, you can still put the discount code on top of that. So it's a great, great extension. It's a great, great discount. So I really encourage you to use it. I know that I'm going to use it. All right. So thanks for joining me. And next up, we're going to be talking about recording and transcription. I hope you enjoy those two extensions. We're going to keep going. Hello, and welcome back to our series of videos on extending for success, 10 extensions to make the most of your Google Meet. In this video, we will be discussing how to record your screen and how to keep transcriptions of your Google Meet. Let's get started. You may say to yourself right now, or be saying to yourself, I can already record a meeting. I've been doing it for months. And you're absolutely right. You can record a meeting for now. The recording feature is usually only available to G Suite Enterprise members, but it's currently free for all G Suite members until September 30th, 2020. And you won't be able to access those enterprise level updates. But here are some extensions for recording if you don't have enterprise. The first one up is a favorite of mine and a very familiar one, Screencastify. And there's so much to do with it beyond just pre-recording instructions for your lesson. So let's talk about this extension outside of that box. With Screencastify, you can record any browser tab. You must pay for Screencastify if you want it to be longer than 5 minutes. But if this is something you desire to do, then it's well worth it. In the picture to the right, I'm actually using it to record myself, do a tutorial for teachers on how to create a Bitmoji, a moving Bitmoji. And I will include that link in the description below. In my regular classroom, I'm going to be having students use Screencastify in order to create introductory videos, which we're going to use for a virtual student bingo. So there's so many things that you can use Screencastify for. You can use it to record your parent letter for the introduction at the beginning of the year. You can use it to do how-to videos for your students, as many of us already have. You can use it to give students feedback. There's so much that you could do. You could use it for modeling during instruction, that you could pause There's so much you can use it for during your Google Meet that would be really, really helpful for students. I personally like the idea of modeling something incorrectly on a video and then being able to pause that video and annotate it in the Google Meet so the students can see what I'm doing wrong. Okay, so here's another extension. Let's talk about Tactic. Tactic is a Meet extension that allows you to save the transcription of your verbal dialogue during your Google Meet. So everything that you say, it makes a transcription of that conversation. It can read the full history of the conversation in real time. It can automatically save the transcription to a Google Doc. It can highlight all the key points. It can automatically enable captions on your calls. And it can export the transcript in Tactic Meeting into a text file to your clipboard, or it can securely store it in your Google Drive. And you can translate it into multiple languages. So, is there a similar upgrade in Google Meet? No. Do teachers download it? Yes, they do. Do students download it? They don't have to, but they can. They absolutely could. And this isn't going to interfere with you or your teaching. They could absolutely download this on their own and install it to their Chrome browser. Okay, so next we're going to talk about the Meet Chat transcribing extension called Meet Chat Transcribe. Okay, so Meet Chat Transcribe is an extension that does something that Meet currently does when you record. It transcribes your Google Meet chats into a Google Doc. Once you download the extension and open it in a Google Meet, it's you simply press the extension and then it will ask if you want to transcribe it to a Google Doc that's already been created, or if you want to create a new one. And then as you begin to chat and once you have your document created, it creates that transcription of the recording with the student name attached to what they've said in the meeting. It's a great way to keep a record of your meeting, or if you're having a staff meeting, it's a great way to keep your transcription of what you said and what you talked about. You don't necessarily need somebody to keep notes because Meet Chat Transcribe is going to keep the notes of your chat. And then if you want to use that in conjunction with Tactic, that's going to keep a transcription of what you said verbally. So you have the verbal transcription with Tactic, and then you have the written transcription from your chat, the Meet Chat Transcribe. Another extension for recording is Awesome Screenshot. With Awesome Screenshot, like Screencastify, it's an extension that allows you to record your screen. Unlike Screencastify, you can also make and annotate screenshots. You can also add effects to remove the visibility of areas that you do not want seen on the screenshot, like I did on the right in that picture. There are several areas that are blurred, and that's because I decided to blur them using Awesome Screenshot. So I hope these are a few extensions that you can use in your classroom for recording and transcription. I thank you for joining me. And next, we will talk about gauging students' reactions and engagement. Let's keep going. Hello, and welcome back to our series of videos on extending for success, 10 extensions to make the most of your Google Meet. In this video, we will be discussing how to see students' reactions and gauge student participation, similarly to the hand raising and thumbs up feature in Zoom. Let's get started. So, as I said earlier, Google has announced the timelines for several updates and modifications coming to Google Meet in the Anywhere School 2020 online event. The one update for student reactions will be the hand raising, which will come out sometime later on this year. However, with some students opting to have their cameras off for various reasons, I would like to see a wider range of emotions. Plus, this won't happen until later on this year, and you may want to know where your students and how are and how they are feeling right now. So let's talk about Nod. Google has promised to integrate a hand-raising feature later on this year, like I said, but you will need to gauge engagement on day one. With Nod, you can use and customize emoji reactions for students during your Google Meet. I can use thumbs up and thumbs down for a quick assessment the way that I would in a classroom. And then after that, I could ask deeper level questions based on those reactions. So I could ask my students about how they felt about playing through something in my music class, or I could gauge their understanding on a concept that I just mentioned with a quick thumbs up and thumbs down. And then I could ask some detailed questions to certain students. So why did you give yourself a thumbs up? Why did you give yourself a thumbs down? And ask them to kind of dig a little bit deeper into why they did what they did. Also, students can indicate varying emotions and even cheer each other on by using the clap emoji. So, and we can have open, authentic dialogue about their reactions to sensitive materials that we may engage with during our social emotional portions of the lesson. However, in order for students and teachers to use it, both students and teachers have to have it downloaded. It won't function if you don't have it downloaded. You won't be able to see what's going on. So students do have to download it, but this is definitely an extension that I will be putting on my students' materials list. It's something that I need them to download as part of our course materials. Now, this is not directly an engagement extension, but it is a quick way to be able to track engagement between your Google Meet and your presentation. This extension is called Dualist. If you are presenting and you have Nod or Google Meet Plus installed, you might become frustrated because you can't see your students' reactions or the chat while you have your presentation open. However, if you have two Chrome windows open, you have your presentation open in one window, and then you have your Meet open in another window, it will split them to dimensions that you want automatically. You don't have to do the resizing yourself. It will automatically do it for you. So now you'll be able to see both yourself and the participants. With this extension, like I was saying, you can split your Chrome tabs automatically. And this is great if you don't have a dual monitor. I know that some laptops can do this automatically, but all cannot. Plus, the dual list will help to select the ratios for you automatically, as you can see. This is not just for Google Meets, it's for Chrome in general. Students don't have to have it downloaded, but it's something that they could find helpful when they're presenting in your class. It's also a way, however, to multitask. So I wouldn't recommend the students download it unless you need them to multitask. Now, this last one is an extension that I added after the presentation because it occurred to me of how useful this can be with tracking student engagement in Meet, even though it's an extension for slides. So remote for slides is a great option for having a remote for your slide presentation. You can control the slides from any device, so no navigation bars pop up at the bottom while presenting. You cannot use this at the same time that you are using your presenter view, however. They won't function together. You either have to use the presenter view on your Google Slides, or you can use the remote for Google Slides. Because this remote allows me to control slides without my computer, I can do movement activities while broadcasting my slide presentation on my TV as a larger monitor. So I can be doing movement activities with my students. I can use my phone to change the slides behind me, and my students can be engaged with me. All right, so thanks for joining me. Next up, we're going to talk about muting and unmuting yourself. Let's keep going. Hello, and welcome back to our series of videos on Extending for Success, 10 extensions to make the most of your Google Meets. In this video, we will be discussing how to add the ability to quickly mute and unmute yourself, similarly to the feature in Zoom. And also, I have a great app that you can use, or extension that you can use, to prevent yourself from being muted as well. Let's get started. All right, so I saw this video while I was recording some of the other ones, and all I can say is, wow, I'm very happy that I ran across this and that I can share this with you. So if you have the Google Meet Plus extension, then you know how easy it is for yourself to be muted or for a student to mute you during a conversation. However, the Google Meet Presenter Mode extension allows you to control who can mute you during a Google Meet. Simply click the extension that's labeled with a PM, and you can move in and out of presenter mode. In presenter mode, no one can mute you. Now you can kind of use the Google Meet Plus extension with a little bit of peace of mind using the presenter mode extension along with it. There aren't any similar upgrades to Google Meet. Teachers should download it. Students should not download it, because if your students download presenter mode, then they can stop themselves from being muted as well. And I don't think that that's what you want during your class time. All right. The next one is Google Meet Push to Talk. Google Meet Push to Talk allows you to quickly mute and unmute yourself during a class or a. With this extension, you can make sure that you eliminate background noise. Plus, it works beautifully. The downside is that it only works if students know how to mute themselves. You can't mute students before they're going into a meeting. So you have to train students on how to mute and unmute themselves. Now, there are a lot of similar apps which allow you to mute and unmute yourself that you can try out. However, this is the only one that I'm going to recommend right now because it's the one that I prefer. It's the one that I'm familiar with. I know a lot of other people have also recommended this extension, so it's the only one that I'm going to be recommending today. It's inevitably up to you how and when you use these extensions. You choose what's going to be best for you. All right, so thank you for joining me, and next we're going to talk about breakout rooms. Let's keep going. Is there a similar Google Meet upgrade? Possibly. Do teachers need to download it? Yes, and like I said before, students also have to download this in order for this to work. All right, thanks for joining me. And next, we're going to talk about breakout rooms. Let's keep going. Good afternoon, and welcome to our series of videos on extending for success, 10 extensions to make the most of your Google Meets. In this video, we will be discussing, drum roll please, breakout rooms. So let's get started. So, as I've mentioned before, we have the timeline of the updates that were given at the Anywhere 2020 online event. One thing that teachers have desired the most is to have small groups during their Google Meet sessions. I was so excited when Google announced this built-in breakout room upgrade, but then I was really saddened by the fact that this upgrade is not available to everyone. Not only would it not be available to everybody, but it's not going to even be available when school starts. So it's only for G Suite Education Enterprise Edition people who have that. And it's not going to be available until October. So some teachers have come up with a workaround for this, but this is an extension that I have that you can use today without the workaround, or rather, it does the work of the workaround for you. And it has some other added benefits to it as well. All right, so let's talk about Google Meet's breakout rooms. This is the extension that we're going to be talking about and that will be demonstrated today. So Google Meet breakout rooms is a great extension that takes the place of that breakout room upgrade that's coming to Google Meet in October. So in order for it to function, you must have the Google Meet breakout room extension downloaded along with Google Meet Grid View. Yes, I know that the old Grid View stopped working in July, but if you download the Google Meet Grid View Fix, and it has to have fix in parentheses, if you download the Google Meet Grid View Fix, it functions well. Students don't have to download this extension for it to work, as you'll see later, and I'll show you how we used it in the session right now. I can't quite see everything that I want to see on the screen. So what I would usually do is I would go over here and I would zoom out. Well, yeah, I would zoom out some so that I can see more of the screen. I'm going to go to my Google Meet. I'm going to copy the code for the Google Meet, which I can do from the search bar, which I just did. And I'm going to make that my main group because I need a main group. And then I'm going to save. You can only have one main group. Your first group is your main group, and then the rest of them are going to be breakout rooms. Okay. So now I'm going to add a breakout room. So we'll call this one 1. And then I'm not going to even add a link for that. I'm going to hit save. It's going to automatically create a link. I'm going to add another one. 2. Hit save. It'll automatically create a link. And if I wanted to, I could absolutely use pre-made links that I've made for my other courses. So if you wanted to have all of your course, have another course that you had with a overall breakout link, and then you could add in, just like I did with that Google Meet, instead of having breakout rooms, you could use the classrooms Google Meet in those slots instead. So 3, and then hit save. And we'll do one more, 4, and then hit save. I can name them whatever I wanted to. I'm just naming them 1, 2, 3, 4, just for the purposes of today. Okay. Then I'm going to go to my Meet. Choose course. I want to have all 4 breakouts. I could have 3, but I want to have all 4. Okay. So then I'm going to start class with Google Meet. Have that. Okay. I can open just the breakouts. I can open the main room, or I can open both. Okay. So I'm going to click open both. Set permissions, set permissions, and now it's automatically making breakout, opening each one of those breakout rooms that I made for me. It's opening them automatically. And I'm in every breakout room. Yeah, I can hear every single conversation. So like earlier, when you are coming in, like, I wonder if the teacher is every single classroom. So yeah, I am. I don't know who said it, but okay. Here's another great extension. It came up while I was doing some research over the summer, and it also was brought up again on Thursday during our session. This extension is called Google Meet Attendees in Breakout Rooms. This is a 2-in-1 extension that will save space. In order for it to function, you must have, just like the other breakout room extension, Google Meet Grid View Fix installed in order for it to work. All right, so thanks for joining me. And next, we're going to talk about recording attendance. But please feel free to utilize all of these extensions and play around with them with colleagues and see which one works best for you. Let's continue. Good afternoon, and welcome to our final video in the series, Extending for Success and Extensions to make the best of your Google Meet. In this video, we will be discussing record keeping for attendance. Because Google is mandating attendance throughout the day, and you may not have access to this upgrade, I am including several attendance extensions. Even if we do move to the Enterprise Edition, the Google upgrade won't happen until a month after school is already done. So therefore, these extensions are a must-have. So just as I just mentioned, we have the basic extensions, the basic upgrades that we'll be getting, and then these are the Enterprise Edition upgrades that will be happening. Attendance is up underneath the Enterprise Edition upgrades. So unless we don't need to take attendance before October, here are some extensions that I love to use for my Google Meet. So just as I just mentioned, during the Anywhere School 2020 online event, Google announced that we will be getting attendance taking, but it will only be available for Enterprise Edition members. So here are some extensions that you can use for attendance for free. The first up is Meet Attendance. Now, with this extension, you are able to take attendance throughout your Google Meet, plus it integrates with Google Classroom. If you pay $250 a month, it will integrate with your Google Classroom, will pull your roster from Google Classroom. But you can just as easily do that yourself by putting your attendance on a spreadsheet and integrating that. Okay, so is there a similar upgrade? Yes, but it's only coming for Enterprise. Do teachers download it? Yes. Students download it? No. Another great extension is called Roll Call for Google Meet. Roll Call quickly lists all of the current users in your Google Meet video class, and then you can save those usernames to your class roster. So the next time that you do open up your Google Meet, you'll see a color-coded list for all of the attendees. Blue will represent the ones who are not on your roster yet that you can add. Green represents those who were there before who are present. And red represents those who were there before who are now absent. That is a great way. So here are a few other similar extensions that you can use for attendance. Some only record attendance at the beginning of the meeting, like Roll Call, but then there are others that allow you to take attendance multiple times throughout your Google Meet, like Meet Attendance did at one time. And then there are a few of these other ones that I have not gone through in depth, but I know allow you to do so. Just take a look and you should decide what works best for you. Out of all of these, I like the layout for Roll Call the best, but again, you can only take the attendance once throughout the Google Meet. However, looking at the improvements that Meet Attendance has made, the one with the apple, I think that that one's going to probably be the best to utilize, even though I also really, really like Roll Call, as I said before. All right, well, that is it. Those are all of the extensions. I hope that you really, really enjoyed this, and I hope that you got something out of it. Let me know some of the extensions that you really like as well. You can list those in the comments, and hope that you have a great rest of your day.